Here at Bluebelly Acres, at the start of the year, we have a routine that we actually go through to help set us up for success. And today we want to walk you through that process. I highly recommend that you grab a notepad and a pen and preferably sit down with your partner to go through these exercises together. So let's get into it. Being in the military, we had to be as organized as we could. We carried that into retirement and organized. Here, baby, oh yeah. We carried that into retirement and organize our plan for the year. We start with these 5 things that get us moving in the right direction. First, we start out by writing down our lessons learned, what worked and what didn't. We honestly try to find out how to keep the successes moving forward.
I think it's best to start by celebrating your wins. Brainstorm a little bit and think about all the things that have been done over the past year. For us, some of our wins have been the animals that have been able to go home with happy customers. There's just something about seeing the joy in their faces and us knowing that they're going to a really good home. And understand that even those things that seem like failures in the moment, that you learned from those, you grew from those. None of our paths are straight. Everyone is going to have setbacks. But understand that those are wins as well. Even if you make the same mistake again, you're going to be armed with the experience to make different choices next time. An example, we actually hatched some eggs in an incubator this year. And she's one of them. And unfortunately, we had way too many roosters for our hens. And we had to make some decisions. So you hear the one, that's MJ, that's who we were able to keep. But we've learned that you don't have to focus on the achievements. And knowing this has served us so well that we can also just focus on the effort. And it's equally as important.
The study was done with students, and when they got the answers right, half of the students were praised for getting the answer correct and was told how smart they were. The other half was actually praised and told for how much effort that they actually put into it. Now, the interesting part about this study was that the ones that were praised for being smart, well, they actually went forward and tried to find the easiest questions to answer. The ones that, I don't think you're getting your film time, baby. I'm sorry. The ones that actually were praised for their effort, they tried to go out and find the hardest questions to answer because they wanted to be praised for the effort. Now, we're not always going to get the right answers, but we can all give our absolute best effort. Celebrate that.
And moving forward, don't be afraid to pivot. Last year, we had some real setbacks. I'm the type of person who doesn't like to fail. I don't know who does, but we had a few challenges that required significant effort that only ended in defeat. Well, we learned from our effort and we took our losses and we pivoted. And by pivot, I simply mean we shifted course, a little course correction, and changed some of our processes. The benefit, as it goes back to the first point, is that we had a lot of lessons learned. And the benefit is that I believe that we simply got in over our heads. And sometimes it's okay to admit that. And moving forward, we'll be able to reduce some of our stress, get our sanity back, and be able to put the time and attention towards the things that are going to be required. But before moving on, if you're getting anything out of this content, please subscribe and share and give us a like. It really costs nothing to you, and it does so much for us. Thank you.
Second, we brainstorm our projects for the year. And if you're anything like us, our list of things that we want to get done is long and it's constantly growing. So we try to figure out a handful of things that we specifically are going to focus on getting done for the year. And then now I'm a spreadsheet geek, so I go and break them down into the steps and estimate how long man hours for each step, estimated cost, resources, and you get the point. Then we prioritize them and figure out what things are on the list that must be done this year and what things would be nice to get done this year. Third, we move on to everyone's favorite, budget. Now, I'm not talking about a bills kind of budget. Hopefully you have one of those or are working on it. I'm talking about, can we afford the projects that throughout the year? My biggest advice on this would be don't use credit if at all possible. One of the big things about being a homesteader is that we scrape together what you can. Reuse products and materials, trade for labor, figure out what can be done and when, and then plot it on a calendar. And since we're talking about money, we plan our trips. Michelle's checking me out over here. We plan our trips, we plan our vacations, maybe a homestead conference. How much will they cost for hotel and travel, all that kind of stuff? And actually kind of a big one is, do we have someone take care of the stead and the animals? Because that's a big thing. And we need to plan these things so that we're not scrambling at the last minute, which is just gonna add stress to everything. And then we have to figure out, and then we plan that on the calendar.
Okay, and finally, we go on to garden planning. We start in the winter by looking at what we had produced last year and what met our goals. And then we are firm believers in, obviously, you want to plant what your family eats. So plan all that out. Do your companion planting plan and figure out when you need to start all of your seeds. Mark that on the calendar. And then do any amendments to the soil that you can do ahead of time. And doing all this up front just means less scrambling later and hopefully higher yields.
This is our routine that we use to set ourselves up for success for the year.
Comment below, if you will, on what you do and let us know if anything that we did is helpful.
And until next time, here at Blue Belly Acres, thanks for joining us.
Thanks.